Hello there. This video is not usual for my channel. It's more focused on something philosophical than other ones. Without exaggeration, rethinking what I'm going to talk about today transformed my life. I hope it will make big difference to you as well. Watch till the end because I will drop an easy tool on how you can improve your ability to fight stress, no matter where you're at, in order to be more calm and maybe more cold-blooded when it comes to decision making. So judging and shaming. I think it's safe to say that we judge others or get judged very often, maybe even every single day. It's so often you sometimes don't even notice it. If you haven't been heavily criticized in your life, you know that unpleasant feeling. And it seems that such bad memories are remembered easier than good ones. But I can say whether it's actually proved by modern research. We human beings most of the time behave according to beliefs that tell us what is right or wrong. Everything we see, we perceive through the lens of our principles, whether it's appearance, actions, words of others, as well as ours. We are constantly trying to compare everything to our standards. And sometimes we want to judge anything that deviates from what is perceived as right. When you see someone with an outfit you don't like passing you by on the street, you may think that he or she doesn't have a good taste. Or when someone buys extremely expensive things, you might say that he doesn't have good money spending habits. I'm not perfect, even though I want to believe that I am. Everyone makes mistakes, including people who are believed to be highly successful. Judging and shaming implies the belief that someone is doing something wrong or right, or sometimes even the person is good or bad. But actually, good or bad when it comes to people is relative. It's just the way you perceive them. Public opinion towards celebrities can change dramatically. One wrong step, and he or she becomes a villain overnight. Or sometimes it's the opposite. Act of kindness may make you look awesome in the eyes of other people, and sometimes this status even travels to other areas of your life, and everything about you seems great. This is called halo effect, by the way. So yeah, whether he or she is a good person may vary depending on the individual. Let's get to the point of this video. Is judging good or bad? It's terrible. See what I did there? I've just passed a judgment on judging by saying that it's bad. Let's change it a little. Is it good to judge others as often as we do? I don't know how often you do it, but I certainly reduced the amount of criticizing lately. And it feels great. I think it's not only useless in some cases, but even harmful. Sometimes you can offend other people with your unnecessary critique. By criticizing, you make people defensive and it can really complicate things. Yeah, becoming aware of it takes practice and patience. It's easy to see the fault of other people. And firstly, you should think whether it's their fault at all. Maybe it was you who didn't communicate properly and didn't make yourself clear. Proper communication and expressing of your thoughts and feelings is truly important. I learned that lesson from my work. I was once a little hesitant to ask extra clarifying questions, and it turned out to be bad, and I completed a slightly different assignment than the other members of the team meant. Speaking of the team, work and study environment seems to be important as well. According to the American Institute of Stress, 83% of US workers suffer from work-related stress, with 25% saying their job is the number one stressor in their lives. So I think there is no point in contributing to those numbers by heavily criticizing your fellow workers. Such a hostile environment may be dangerous. According to the longest study on happiness ever conducted, people who have quality relationships tend to live longer, and toxic relationships are associated with a shorter lifespan. I believe sometimes you don't need to verify everything, and being an observer, not a judge, is enough. And you can get used to judging everything around you. I think you know at least one person with such a mindset. Maybe it's you. Look after yourself this week and find out what you tend to criticize more often. Maybe it's politics, your friends, people that you don't like, or maybe even people you live with. And if it's possible, find out what exactly triggers you to do it. Maybe you're jealous, or you think you're better than others, or you're just tired and irritable. There may be many reasons. Remember that it's basically not about them, it's about you. This mindset of yourself, always possessing of the absolute truth, in my opinion, isn't that good. And it's easier to stop an argument with people who are respectful. I'm personally not a fan of arguing with anyone. I like to avoid it as much as possible, but in case you do find yourself in the middle of it, let the other person save face if you're right, if you think you're right. This is how Dale Carnegie, the author of a book How to Win Friends and Influence People, calls it. And I cannot disagree with him. It's not the fact that they made a mistake that you should pay close attention to. It's how you stir out of the argument without that person feeling ashamed in front of others. We're not robots that can't get offended. People aren't machines and we have feelings. I think you should definitely take that into consideration. We aren't fully rational and you perhaps won't stop doing it completely, but you can at least reduce those numbers. There is also a thing I call practice enjoying others more. I often search for bright sides in everyone I meet. Even if I don't know someone well, I can notice some things that I can learn from. And if I learn even only one small but important for me thing from each one around me, here and there, I will become so much better. And now let's get to the last and most practical part of the video. At least one, most of which is based on research. Not only pro science I just try to teach you. According to research, people with stress and anxiety disorders tend to chronically breathe faster and more erratically. Breathing pattern correlates with arousal levels. And mental calmness is associated with slow breathing. Another thing many can agree on is that taking one or more deep breaths can promote mindfulness and dispel distress. So this is the tool I was talking about at the beginning of this video. It's simple really. I find it useful when I feel irritated by something. This is exactly the time when I'm more susceptible to doing something impulsive. I'm not talking about getting a fight with the people I disagree with. I'm talking about something less serious, like raising my voice a little or showing a smirk on my face. So when you're in the middle of such situations, you can relax and take a couple of deep breaths before saying anything in response to people talking to you. Sometimes, if it's not urgent, for example, answering a text in the evening, you can, as they say, sleep on it. I truly hope this video was helpful. Subscribe if you want to see more, and definitely have a good day.